In the preparation for this unit, I asked you to read Black Swan Farming Using Cost of Delay by Joshua Arnold and Özlem Yüce. And I think this is a really great case study because it talks about applying a lot of the things that we're learning this semester in the context of a large enterprise organization where it's pretty tough to do that kind of thing. And their use of cost of delay is excellent, and I found it very instructive and helpful. I particularly like this graph that they present in their case study because it's a very clear application of the use of cost of delay for prioritization. Maersk Lines had a massive backlog of features, thousands of features that they were trying to get done, and they were working in big releases, big batches worth of stuff that took months and months. And they were releasing everything at the same glacial pace because they worked in these big releases. And it allowed them to see how inefficient it was to do that. When they did cost of delay, again, not by doing a multi-week project where they calculated it to the nearest dollar, but by doing an exercise that took of the order of hours or a couple of days, they were able to go through the backlog and estimate very roughly what the cost of delay of each feature was. And they found in that massive backlog 3 features where the cost of delay was over $1 million a week. Just by identifying those 3 features, it was very clear that what they should do is deliver those 3 features and not worry about anything else. And that allowed them firstly to prioritize, but secondly to think about the whole process they were using. Why are they using this crazy process that delivers all these hundreds, thousands of features at the same slow pace when there's these 3 features that it's critical that we deliver straight away? So cost of delay is great for exposing the inefficiency of your process and revealing the things that you really need to focus on. And what Arnold and Yüce say in this paper is that this curve, which is called a power law curve, is typical of projects. Most projects, most backlogs have a very small number of features which are very valuable and a much larger number of features that are of relatively low value. So make sure you get visibility into that, into the things that are valuable and that you focus on those. That's a really important thing that you need to keep an eye on as a product manager. Where's the real value in what you're doing, and how can we make sure we get those high value things done, and the low value things should take a much longer time to deliver because they're not as important. However, you can't use cost of delay for everything. As I say, you don't need a lot of precision for these numbers, but you need some level of precision. And there's certain cases where you just can't calculate how valuable something will be in advance. For example, as we discussed much earlier in the class, there's Horizon 3 projects or products where they're new ideas. Nobody knows whether they'll be valuable or not. And this is kind of like what you're working on in your final projects. New ideas, you just don't know what the risks are and how valuable they'll be. And this is where you can't necessarily use cost of delay when you've got a brand new product. And this is hence where optionality comes in. The idea that we don't know how valuable things will be because there's so much uncertainty. So what we'll do is we'll invest in a whole bunch of possibilities. We'll limit our potential losses by limiting either the amount that we invest in them or the amount of time or capacity we give them, and expect that most of them will fail and a very small number will do spectacularly well. So where you really can't put a value on multiple competing options because there's just far too much uncertainty, optionality is the economic framework that you should use to deal with that situation. I will say, once you've got an established, validated product, optionality is of significantly less application, and you really should think about using cost of delay as a framework for making prioritization decisions using an appropriate level of precision, and that is really what's critical.